Oh, hi, Rosie. How you doing? This Yvonne.
Great, how are you?
This Yvonne. Good.
Hi.
Hey, Annie, is Jocelyn available to help me with?
She's not. She's at lunch. What do you help with?
Oh, I made an appointment with her at 12:40 to put up the what do you call it? Yep, and to put up the PowerPoint that I sent her. I took out a few slides so it'd be a little bit more efficient.
Okay. Let me take a look. 1 second.
Do you want me to send it to you? So I'm on there now and it says recording and nobody's here. I just want to get on early to be ready.
Yeah. Okay, let me log in as well. Just 1 second.
Yeah, and then can you stop the recording? We're not ready to record.
I have to see if I can. I'm gonna have to stop it.
Or do I need to? Oh, hi, Darren. Wait a second. Hi, Darren. I can't hear you, dear.
Sorry, I was a little early. Am I too early?
Oh, you're what? What did you say?
I'm early on the shift class, right? I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I'm glad you're early. I'm early too. I want to get set up for everybody. I haven't met you yet. While Rosie's working on that. What office are you?
Santa Cruz.
Oh, nice. How long have you been? Oh, okay. We got to be official now. Okay. Anyway, Napa. I love Napa too. I love Calistoga. One of my favorite places as a child growing up. So everybody is comfortable, have a nice tall glass of water or tea or beer or wine or whatever they'd like to drink. We're going to start right at 1 o'clock. So Rosie, you'll go off. Are you on a Zoom on the ALC meeting? It's a Zoom. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Zoom.
Is that for the leadership only?
Yeah, it's the leadership portion of it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do my best to keep this chat where I can see it. So everybody feel free to, but you guys can't see my chat, even though it's in the middle of this, right? Nobody can see my chat, right? Box. Okay.
No, you're good.
Because I can't minimize it and it's in the middle of the screen. And Chelsea, you're there also. She's going to be there in and out probably.
She's here. Yeah, I think she will probably pop in and out.
She'll be in and out.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I'd like to welcome everyone. It's 1:00 and my name's Yvonne and I just met Darren for the first time. And then we have Terry. And let me see who else is on here. So far it's us few. Now these classes tend to be a little bit light and a lot of the agents will review it after. So it's perfectly fine. And as I was sharing with Darren just a bit ago, I like whenever I facilitate a class, I like it to be extremely interactive, okay? Because we've all got to learn from each other. Not one of us is an expert. And then that's the beauty of KW is that we all share. So what I'd like to start with is getting to know each other briefly. Just we'll go around, let us know how long you've been in business, which office you are in. Hi, the person that just joined, I don't see a name. So we're gonna go around, just say which office we're in, when did we join KW, and when did we get our license? So Darren, would you like to start?
All right. So Keller Williams, Santa Cruz. Got my license in November of last year and started just a couple of weeks after I got my license with KW.
How did you pick Keller Williams?
Well, I'd gotten, once I had put in for taking my test, I got several brokerages that sent me letters, and I called and kind of did phone interviews with everybody and Elaine just seemed to be the most realistic person, I guess, is how I wanted to take it. I mean, it just seemed like she was speaking the way it is, not trying to blow it up into something it wasn't, that kind of stuff. So then after I got my license, I called back and sat down with them and joined up.
Wonderful. So welcome, KW.
Thank you.
Let's see, Terry, are you able to?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, you can. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. So, yeah, I've been licensed for 24 years and joined Keller Williams in 2009. I taught the first class, and I've been wanting to pop in and see what else everyone else has said, but I've just been on the go.
Nice, nice. Okay, the gentleman, I'm sorry, there's no name for some reason. Are you able to speak right now? Let's see. I don't see a name for you. Okay. Hi, Meg. Can you chime in right now? We're just introducing ourselves, letting us know, let everybody know what office you're from and how long you've been in real estate.
Okay, absolutely. I apologize for being late. I was on a business call. My apologies.
Okay.
My name is Meg Apple. I'm with the Campbell office. I've been there for about 11 years, but I've got over 25 years in real estate.
Wonderful. Okay, and the other gentleman, can anybody see his name? I can't.
Anthony Wolfman.
What is it? Sorry.
Anthony.
Oh,
Wolf-
Anthony. Anthony, can you chat right now? You'd have to unmute. Okay, it's okay, Anthony, when you can, because I know on these Zoom calls, and I do this too, we've got other things happening in the background, so no problem. Anthony, when you can, just come on in and let us know who you are, what office, and how long you've been in real estate. So I got my license in 2006, and I absolutely love the real estate business. And we are in business for ourselves, by the way. Nobody told me that kind of at the beginning when I was first joined, got my license. I just thought, oh, okay, I work under a brokerage. When I came to KW 8 years ago, that's when I kept hearing, hey, you're in business for yourself. This is your business. And it's like, wow, okay. then that really dawned on me, and it really helped me to realize this is a business and it's my business. We are self-employed. So I just like to mention that because nobody, I never got that early on. I loved my first broker, and the brokerage is just, they went to a virtual office, and I needed more because when I joined, 07, 08 hit, and all we had was short sales and bank-owned properties. If you can imagine, just short sales and bank-owned, hardly any regular sales.
Right.
So it was extremely different. And so 8 years ago, the market, you know, we got through it, and I just needed to continue to learn. And I love Keller Williams training, education, and the culture, and our values. So let's see, Anthony, are you able to let us know anything about you, where you're at and when you started? Okay, let's go on. So today we are working on tactic number 9. And I just want to, before we get going in the manual, the tactics are from the shift book, right? Okay, so do all of you have the shift book? Meg, you do. Darren? Oh, I can't hear you.
I don't have the physical book. I've got the PDF file.
Okay, but you have the book.
Mhm.
That's fine. It doesn't have to be a hard copy. Okay. I've read this book about 3 times already, different times. It's so what's the word?
Relevant.
Relevant, and yes, thank you. Was that Meg?
It's Terry.
Terry, thank you. Relevant, and also it's funny because it was many years ago that Gary and Jay and Dave wrote it, but that's the housing market. It goes in, it's cyclical, and it goes up, it goes down, it levels. So we're continually in a movement. The market continually is moving, and all these tactics, we can always go back to this book, no matter what market it is. You can put it towards the seller side, or we can put it towards a buyer side. So what we're talking about today is a buyer's urgency, creating that urgency. Now, Darren, I'd like to start with you. Darren just had his first sale. He closed last week, did you say?
Yeah, it closed on Friday.
And that was for a buyer, right?
Correct.
Okay. Can you just briefly, if you don't mind, just share a little bit about that experience?
Oh, one of the first things that the coaches taught me at KW was that don't be a secret agent. So when I was out walking with my wife, we ran into some neighbors and talking about stuff, and mentioned that I'd changed careers, and they just happened to have sold a place in Los Angeles that their son was going to college. They bought a house down there, and they did a 1031, but they needed to buy something up here, and they went ahead and let me help them buy that. It just
And did you buy? Where did you buy? Where did you help them buy?
We got into a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single family in Scotts Valley.
Great. How was the experience?
It was good. I mean, it was a long experience. We started in February, but they wanted a deal. They didn't want to spend list or more. So it was a very difficult time because nothing was selling below list. So I learned how to write offers really well. We put in a lot of offers and get a lot of accepting, but a week and a half ago, we did a 10-day close. So a week and a half ago, we offered 50,000 less than the list price, and they took it all cash.
How much less?
50,000, 50K under.
Yeah.
And it was one of our agents' listings too, so it worked out pretty good.
Nice. And I'm sure they appreciated that offer.
Yeah, no, they hadn't lowered their price, so I think it kind of saved them from having to lower it on the market. So they took it.
Yeah.
So it worked out well. And then obviously the house was only 8 years old, so there wasn't a lot wrong with it. We were able to go in with no contingencies and close it fast. So
Wow, and it was all cash, right?
all cash.
Yeah, because it was a 1031. Good job. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Meg or Terry, do you want to share anything about your last, if it's within the last couple of months, as far as a buyer's sale?
I'll pop in, then Meg, you can follow me. So, yeah, I was working, it's like, I do an okay amount of business. So the beginning of the year has been nuts, and that's why, we're having these shift classes so that we can prepare for what's coming on. So I got a buyer into contract, I think it was last week, and we were able to go in under asking and get contingencies on the property. And it's probably, I'm gonna guess 70,000 less than the one that sold recently, like 6 months ago. And even though the listing agent had already put the price below market, we still were able to go and negotiate. So it's
Yeah.
not to the buyers and sellers have, those are the conversations we need to have with the sellers.
It's amazing. I'm excited for our buyers. Congratulations. Meg, how about you, dear? Have you worked with any buyers in the last few months?
No, my last deal was a seller, but I'm happy to share that
Sure.
because it was right when the market was shifting. If they had called me like a month earlier, it would have flown. But because they kind of delayed, they were right at the beginning of it. And so we were getting under asking price offers, and they were insulted. And so they canceled everything and went screaming for the hills.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay. And I'm sorry about that. What city?
Los Gatos.
What was your price point?
It was a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo, and they wanted 1.2, and they would have got it like 2 months ago.
Yep.
But they missed it. They just missed it.
Yeah.
And we were getting all cash offers at a mill, even up to their asking price.
Yeah.
And they were like just offended. And they said, forget it, we'll just rent it out.
Okay. And that's an option.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'd like to, oh, hi, Alex. And has anybody else joined besides Alex? Because I only can see 5 people at a time.
Hey, Yvonne.
Hey, Alex. Alex, we're just going around to talk about, and I know you and Kelly have been working with some buyers. So this is just to kind of set the stage of everything we're going to talk about today. And because our experiences are, I like to put in what we're learning and what we're discussing today and part of our experience. And I'd like to share with our experiences so we can help others. Alex, can you please share? Alex is San Jose Gateway. How long you been licensed, Alex?
Almost 3 years, but the first 2 I was at another job, so I only consider myself about 6 months full time.
Got it. Okay. All right, Alex, how's it going with working with your buyers? Have you gotten anybody in contract yet?
Not yet. It is a long process, especially with our other clients. They're just the money wise is what they're struggling to really get to that price point of what they truly want. And then our other client, they just want that perfect home, which of course is understandable, but it's also that price point that they're in. They're kind of right there at the very edge, if that makes any sense.
Yes, I'm in that. I'm in that boat too with 2 of my clients. One of my clients had to push it out because they're not quite ready. They've got to get a little bit more down payment. But yes, I think we've all felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you said you were close. So have you put in offers?
No, not yet. So one just got pre-approved for 900. Other one is, since we're not finding what he or they're really looking for,
Yeah.
they haven't really gotten that loan yet, just because they're not really seeing anything.
Yeah, I've got something on that note. Preparing for the class today, I loved almost towards the end of Tactic 9, and Tactic 9 starts on page 167 of the Shift book. And we all respect, obviously, Gary and his wisdom. He is a truly gifted and blessed individual, and we're blessed to have him as our leader in this business. He really cares about us. So he always shares his experience and his expertise. And remind me to touch on that if I forget. And that's something that he shared about what he and his wife did early on when they started purchasing, because I think that's a great strategy on what they did. Okay, all righty. So the manual is in the chat. Very good information, you guys, to follow up. We're not going to go word by word, obviously. We're going to highlight and we're going to discuss. So the book is amazing. As you guys know, please review back Tactic 9 in the book. And also the summary is in the manual. So our main ideas that we're going to cover today are 1 through 7 here. Perspective on creating urgency, being the expert, create a best buy list, do our homework, find it for our clients, facilitate the decision making, and okay, so what's the bottom line? Okay, we're going to start with our perspective on creating urgency. So what's the challenge these days, you guys? Just here's a few points here, but what challenge? Now, Alex mentioned a little bit about financing. Anything else challenging out there for that you've been facing?
Buyers are worried because they think about the housing prices. You know, that because it was such a big deal back when we had the short sale, they think that's what's going to happen now. So you know, we need to explain to them why now is different than then.
Yep, that is very true. Also, they're fearful of paying too much, making a wrong decision.
Mhm.
That's a huge one. I do open houses every weekend. Does anybody else do open houses? Meg, Darren, what have you been hearing? That's the beauty of open houses, because one of my questions, my key questions I ask after I introduce myself and welcome them and, oh, let me show you around. So I ask them, how's your search been going? You know, and I like to hear the input. So Darren, go
I
ahead.
did an open house yesterday, and one of the customers that came through, they asked me what I thought about the interest rates, and we've had a little bit of discussion back and forth over the last week or so. And if they start out thinking that they've gone up too much and it might be pushing them out, I always tell them that they can always put in the offers and stuff to maybe have the seller offset the points, and it would get them back into a monthly payment that fits what they're looking for without the seller having to lower their house too much. So just give them some options that help them get past that percentage going up.
Okay, and that's the next tactic, by the way, is financing. So we won't go too much into depth, but on that note, just real quick, what I've been sharing with individuals and some agents not even really aware of this, but buying down the interest rate. So for you newer agents, you might not know what that means. So please check in with your loan officer. If you don't have a loan officer yet that you have built a relationship, call Elaine, your ALC, call me later, reach out. In other words, just reach out to our resource. And again, that's the beauty of our offices and Keller Williams is that we share. So, okay. Any other questions or any input on our challenges for now?
I've been hearing it's a combination. It's now's not a good time to buy because prices are going down. I don't want to lose money, right? And they combine that with, oh, and interest rates are rising. So it's like I'm hearing a two-pronged fear that is coming in. And so they think by waiting that they're going to be able to buy at a lower price. And then, the trick, I think, is to try and circle back with, what is the cost of waiting, and that, interest rates are actually historically low now. And by going up, you're not going to be able to get this house. You're going to be forced to buy a smaller house, and see how that goes.
Yes, that's true. Anyone else? Terry, I see that you put in cost of waiting. Did you want to go over that? Whatever you just posted?
Yeah, so I use visuals for buyers and run numbers as far as the cost of waiting with different interest rate scenarios. So what I added was something that was given to me from our in-house lender, but I also do have an Excel spreadsheet that I take and show them that when the interest rates go down or go up, kind of where that price happens for them. So it gives them a visual of maybe we shouldn't wait, or oh, the price has already come down, even though the interest rates have gone up, the payments are relatively the same, or kind of what the difference is.
Yeah. So you guys, if you can see in the chat, go ahead and grab that. In the book in page 172, 173, I like the way that Gary puts it. Is that, and then we all know we can't time the market, right? We all know that. So what he talks about is staying in the safe zone. So if it makes sense to our buyers, and we'll go over that, okay, there's different categories that we have to help our clients through. Finance obviously is the biggest, one of the biggest element of the home purchase. But I really like what he said at the bottom of 172. The real buyers in a buyer's market aren't trying to predict the floor, but are just trying to buy smart. So I like to use that term. It's like, hey, this is a great time to be purchasing, and let's review that. And it also talks about that we should be having our consultation at the very beginning with our buyers to explain this market. And what I've been finding in this market is that we're still evolving. I don't think we're quite settled through this transition yet. So, and I also want to encourage my sellers and just the public in general that the COVID years, the 2020 and 2021, and Meg, this is what you experienced with that seller. They're looking at, well, a couple of months ago, my neighbors got X. Well, that's true, but that market is finished.
Missed it by that much.
And they were not alone.
Right.
3 of my sellers, we went in on the market second week of May. And that was an extreme month for our transition.
Yeah.
Here in the Bay Area, and I think Santa Cruz too, it falls in line, and also the surrounding counties such as Central Valley, because a lot of buyers can't afford here in the core of the Bay Area, so they have to go out a bit. So through my 16 years in real estate, I have learned that we move very quickly here. We move up quick, and then we move down quick. And so for those of you that are newer, you can take that experience, you can speak to the agents in your office. When Mike does his coffee with Mike, or ask him, hey, what are the shifting markets you've been in, and gather some information. He's been in the industry, 40 plus years. The other thing that the market meetings in the mornings are very important. Darren, do you guys have one in Santa Cruz?
We do.
Okay. Do you attend those?
I tried to.
Okay. I have found them to be super important because we are networking not just with our offices, it's with our colleagues throughout the county, throughout our cities. So And on our Wednesday meetings, once a month, Dave Walsh joins. And so for those of you in Santa Cruz, you can join ours as well. Just let us know and we can give you the link. They're very, very important because especially the agents that are having most of those listings, they'll let us know where they're at. They'll let us know about the pricing. They'll let us know about their reductions, their price reductions. So it's very valuable information that we can share with our buyers to help them through this time. It's actually a very exciting time for the buyers. So we'll go over that. Okay, let's move on. Okay, the truth. People are buying and selling homes. Wait a minute, I gotta move my thing. In this market, no one can truly time the market. So are people still buying right now and selling? Absolutely. Yes, they are. They're working it out. They're figuring it out. They're taking that step of faith that I'm talking about buyers. Because what's the alternative? If someone wants to buy, but they're kind of reluctant, and that's what we're talking about, right? They're reluctant. They're scared. They're fearful. They don't want to make a mistake. They're listening to all these other sources, the media, the headlines, their family, their friends, their neighbors. Oh no, you should wait. The prices are going to come down. It's going to crash. Does anybody think our market's going to crash?
No.
It's okay if you guys do. Anybody?
No, we're not gonna crash. We were due for an adjustment because our prices just couldn't keep sustaining that. And that's what's going on, but we're having an adjustment.
Tremendous. We needed that adjustment because again, COVID was extremely unique and rare. It wasn't a normal up. It was an extreme upwards where these prices just soared. And why did they soar? Why did our prices soar during COVID?
I would have to say the interest rates. So I'm really surprised that we had that market during COVID because in the beginning we were, we were bound by what we couldn't do. We couldn't do open houses. We couldn't do, a lot of things that we had to pivot and change. But the stimulating the mortgage by those low interest rates, I think made people think, oh, we can get in, but they also could buy and live elsewhere because they could work from home.
Right. What else caused those prices to soar? Anybody have any thoughts, any experience?
Well, I have thoughts. I would say that, and I absolutely do not want to be political at all, but because of, there is a high unease in the country and that's affecting the stock market, which affects interest rates, which, it's kind of like a circle that I believe that's not helping the interest rates, which is in turn not helping the buyer. Okay.
I agree. What else? Anything else that caused the tremendous growth in the tremendous sales value on our homes in 2021 and the first 4 months of this year?
Also in inventory, we had low, we had,
That's the key.
yeah, very low inventory.
Very low.
Yeah.
Some neighborhoods had 0 to maybe 1 if we were lucky. Supply and demand, that's just the key. One of the key factors in the boom. I believe also the interest rates too, being in the 2s and 3s. So people were able to pay more.
Well, and a lot of tech money.
Yeah. Have you thought about these buyers that paid 200 to 500 over? Have you thought about how are they feeling right now?
Yeah.
So let me ask you, which is a better purchase? Did they purchase at, let's say 2.1 at 2.5% versus 1.6 now at 5%? Who made the better purchase? Which is the better value? What do you guys think?
Are they gonna hold on to it for a while, or do they need to sell it right away?
Well, just the purchase. Who do you think made a better purchase, better value?
Well, I would say that the one that's with the higher interest rate, because they can always refinance.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
We can't change, they can't change the price, but we
Marry
can,
the house, date the rate.
we can do something about the interest rate. We can even pay it off sooner. And again, real quick, I just want to just add this in because I know a few people came in a little after we started. Right now, if we find some of these homes that have been sitting, average days on market now, does anybody know in Santa Clara County? This is a number we should know. What's your guess? If you don't know exactly, what's your guess? Days on market right now?
11 or 14?
14, I think.
14 or 16 is what I was thinking.
I think 14.
Yeah, we're in that range. Actually, it's 3 to 4 weeks now. Average days on market. So if someone's been on the market, let's say a home's been on the market almost 60 days, you know that they're going to be ready to probably, because they still need to sell.
Right.
So they're going to negotiate. They're going to give something. So it's okay for us as buyer's agents to ask for credit. Now, a home that just comes on the market and it's a great area and the price is low, we're probably not going to get that. But a home that's been sitting, I would say 30 days plus, we can ask for credit. And all that looks like is 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, whatever it might be, towards closing cost. Then your buyers can buy down that interest rate with their lender. So instead of a 5%, they can get maybe a 4.25. So please keep that in mind, especially newer agents that might not know of that. Okay, let's move on. So what's our solution? Well, be the expert on the market and the economy. Okay, so how do we do that? Who are we listening to? Where are we getting our data? I'm not going to, I want to show you something on the MLS, but I'm not going to do it now because I'm not that great with sharing and unsharing, and I don't want to lose you guys. So I'm going to save that at the end. But I want to show you how there's easy ways to get our stats. Okay. And we are not the experts. Okay. Don't pretend to be an expert. We should not pretend to be an expert. What we're doing is we are professionals, and we are keeping an eye on the market, getting our data points, and we're sharing. And we don't have to know every single data point. The clients, they don't even want that. They want to know, how can they get a house? What do they need to do? So keeping the basics, and I think that's going to be the theme of Family Reunion in August is, and that's our second, I don't know if some of you might not be aware, but that's our second main, it's not a convention, what is it? It's our, let's just call it convention. We have Family Reunion. Oh, did I say Family Reunion? Sorry, Mega Camp. Mega Camp is in August. Family Reunion is in February. So that's we have 2 main conferences a year as a company. So what I've been hearing, because I'm on networking a lot with like the KW Connect and so on. So they're telling us to get back to the basics. And you know what Gary said? He said, well, whoever gave us permission to get away from the basics. So I think that's going to be the theme of our mega camp in a couple of weeks. Okay, so then this other solution continued is we need to listen to our buyers. What are their needs? What are their wants? What are their fears? Pay attention to pricing and condition of the home. We need to match the needs and wants of our clients. Okay, lessen the fears about buying. We already talked about that. And find good, reliable mortgage programs. Okay, let's go on and peel that out a little bit. Okay. Invest time. So we need to be the expert. So who can let me know, what does that mean when you hear that? Okay, we need to be the expert. And after I just told you we're not experts. What kind of, what do we need to learn so we can become an expert, at least be knowledgeable?
I think you have to make sure you've got your stats like you were talking about, like you should know, right? There's, current market 2119, days on the market. You should like be tracking that and be able to just be able to come up with that information and also be able to give that information to your clients when they come up with a question or something. You have to give them reliable evidence of that and promptly so they can see that you know what you're talking about.
Right. Where do we get this information, everybody? Where can we gather this information that Meg just talked about?
Do you want me to answer?
Anybody?
Okay.
I like interaction.
I pull it off the MLS.
Mhm.
MLS, that's our key spot.
Right.
That's our key spot.
Right.
Also, being involved, staying out there, as we talked about, going to the market meetings, hearing what others are going through. We're having a lot of price reductions because some of the sellers, I hear this quite a bit. Oh, can we at least just try? And they price it a little higher. And of course, us as listing agents, we give them the information, but it's their decision. Okay, I never force any of my, and I'm sure most of us in the industry, we don't force our clients to do anything. They've got to work it through, just like with buyers. So we give them the information so they can make a good decision. Okay, so that's where we're gathering mainly from the MLS and from each other, right?
Yeah, and I think like Terry shared something from her lender, and you can go to your lender and your title rep to get a lot of information, but your lender can put together some information for you that makes you look even better because it's really tied to finance. That's what, if you can solve, you can approach it from a financial position. Basically, your objections are gone.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true, Meg. And also, I think, when we talk about being the expert, all this information is available to them, but buyers and sellers, they don't know what it means to them. So being able to compare and contrast, so then they can, as Yvonne said, make the right decision for themselves. So we can say, well, inventory is this, but how does that compare to a different market and what that means to them? So that's where our expertise comes into play.
Absolutely. And also sharing about, hey, because I'm seeing, I think we're coming towards the end of the downswing. I think we're going to be slowly getting to our level. I think buyers are coming back out now in the market and seeing, oh, okay, we're not going to crash. They're getting their agent's point of view. Like everybody I speak to, I let them know, hey, those COVID years, we've got to take that out of the equation. I wish we could just even erase those years because that was not a normal by any means. Nothing there was normal. In 2018, for those of you that have been in the business, prices soared again, or soaring. Actually 17 and 18, the prices soared. And then about mid 2018, exactly what we were feeling in May, it started coming down because the buyers couldn't sustain that, or we couldn't sustain that growth. And so then the buyers, you know what they said in 2018 and then into 19, oh, we're going to wait, just like we're hearing now. Oh, we're going to wait till the prices drop more. And then you know what happened? The prices shot up. And now here comes all these buyers. And that's what happened in 2020. we were on target for those first few months before COVID hit. Well, before it really hit, because I know it hit in prior. But when we went into shelter in place, we were on track as a nation to be our biggest year. And why? Because all those buyers that waited in 2019, they didn't buy. We're going to wait. And we all know already we cannot time the bottom. And they were trying to time the bottom. And so then here comes 2020, prices started soaring, and then COVID hit. And now we had all those buyers, and we still have all those buyers. Some purchased, but many have not. There's still a lot of buyers out there, you guys. There's still a lot of money in our valley, in our Bay Area, in Santa Cruz, in Central Valley. There's a lot of money. So we need to stay as positive as possible and give always the truth. Okay, and attending these classes, speaking to, our more experienced agents. Hey, how's it going? When you see them, even I know a lot of people aren't coming into the office, give them a call. Say, hey, I'm working on this. I'm whatever it might be. Let's say whatever a weak point might be that we need to work on getting stronger. Call up these seasoned agents and say, hey, you know what? Do you have 5 minutes? I just want to, how do you handle this? Whatever the task might be that you're trying to get stronger on. So all these things, in other words, just reach out to our office, definitely our team leaders, Mike, your ALC, your mentors, obviously your mentors, but ask what they're doing. How are they getting our top agents in our office? Okay, let's go on. And please, anybody have anything to say, don't hesitate. Just go ahead and you don't have to raise your hand, just share. Okay, top dollar productive activities. So lead generation, we all know that. We all have our favorites, what to do. Everybody just say, what is your favorite? Real quick, we'll go through that, your lead gen.
I like internet and door knocking.
Oh, good.
I also teach classes, so that helps.
What was the last thing, Meg? Sorry.
I teach classes, a real estate class a month.
Nice. To who?
To the community. They pay for the class.
Nice. And so is that through your city?
I'm also a teacher, so it's through the district I teach with.
Oh, so okay, so it's an adult ed class?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Good job.
Lucky.
What can anybody else want to share what they do for lead gen? What's their favorite one thing?
Door knock.
Door knock, is that Alex?
Yes, it's me.
Okay, good job, Alex.
So I do a mini CMA drop off.
Okay, tell us more about that. What do you do? Where do you do that?
I do it in my farms. So I
Nice.
have 2 farm areas that I've selected, and I'm doing 25 a week to the farm. So I try and do five a day.
Nice. So is that something that you pinpoint different homes and then you go specifically to their?
Yeah, I'm using Old Republic, and I do their farm, and it tells me if they're occupied homeowners or if they're not. So I don't drop them off if they're not living there. I'll mail those, but it's like my door knocking. I just go and I deliver them to the doorstep. Sometimes
So you don't have a conversation?
if they're home, I do. If not, it's not. I'm not very intrusive on their time. So
It's one way to keep in touch.
yeah, and I also, it has a cover sheet with a QR code that lands them on my a landing page, and it also has a 1-page bullet point market strategy in the back. So
Oh, so it's simple.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to do one CMA for one property?
2-3 minutes.
Oh, great. So anybody that would like, Darren, would you like to share that? If anybody calls you, you would share how you do that?
I can.
Thank you, Darren. If you don't mind, can you put your phone number in the chat?
Yeah.
I think that's great. Anyone else? What's your favorite way of lead gen?
I stay in contact with past clients.
Yeah. Yeah, because Tara, you've been in 24 years, you said, right?
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, yeah. You have a lot of clients. Anyone else want to share what's their favorite? One of my favorites is open house. That might be that, and also my database, calling my people I know. I love having conversations. For those of you that know me, I know you probably get tired of hearing this, but what I always say is that we have to have conversations, whether it's via internet or phone or in person. We've got to have conversations in real estate. And it doesn't have to be drawn out. It's like, hey, I've been thinking about you. How you doing? And then eventually they're going to ask you how you're doing. And so I only spend maybe 30 seconds when they ask me how I'm doing. I'll just say something along the lines of, you know what, I'm so thankful. The family's great. Everybody's healthy. I'm still able to help my clients with their real estate needs. You know, and I'm just so thankful. And that's all I say. So they know that I'm still doing real estate. So I don't go on and on. Oh, you know, it's a good time to sell. It's a good time to buy. It's this, it's that. Oh, have you been thinking? And these are just the basic calls that I make. They're called care calls or love calls now. The care calls were mainly during COVID. Now, when we're reaching out to our database on a regular basis, that's basically the conversation. And they feel, let's see, they feel, let's say special, because first of all, I'm keeping in touch and it's all about them. Okay, so that's my suggestion on that. Okay, lead follow-up, that's basically kind of the same thing in lead generating. Appointments with prospects. So the consultation is super important, even more so now because of the transitioning market and everybody's adjusting. Negotiating contracts, that's where your mentor, where you'll learn more from your mentor for those of you that are newer. And the market research, okay? That's what we have to do to become an expert. Okay, now these next few slides, I'm gonna go through kind of quick because it's just, and it's in your manual and it's also in the shift book, again. And this tactic, especially if we're working with buyers, read it over a few times, highlight. I've got the whole book almost highlighted. And my notes on the side. I was like, oh, okay, remember this, explain this. So what these few slides are talking about, part of being the expert is like, okay, are you in the market or are you out of the market? So for the buyer or seller, this works both ways. If we're in the market, that means we are ready. We've got our loan approval. We know exactly where we stand financially. We know our price point, we know what area, and we as agents, we know what they're looking for. Okay, we're in the market. Out of the market, as far as the buyer is concerned, they're kind of on the sideline. Oh, you know what? Yeah, maybe if I see something I like, oh, okay, maybe I'll put an offer. Okay, so they might be ready and able, but are they willing? That talks about able, willing, and ready, able, and willing. We need all three. Same goes for, let me see what the next slide is. Same goes for a seller. Oh, okay, this is a seller. Okay, are they in the market? Meaning, how are they priced? It's all, oh, it says here, condition and price. Oh, price and comparables. Condition, so price and condition, that's what a seller has to look and be aware of. Any questions? What exactly that means? You guys understand that part? Let's see what this, oh, okay, same, all three are about the same, talks about being in the market. Okay, what time do we have? We're about halfway through. Okay. Okay, who thinks it's a good time to buy? Darren does, who else?
It's always a good time to buy.
Good answer. Is that Alex?
Yes.
If it's, yeah, if it meets your needs, yep. Terry, I saw your hand. Terry thinks it's a good time to buy.
Oh, so much better, but we don't have to compete like we were doing and giving up our firstborn and throwing a dart to see where it's stuck. I mean, it's so much less risk now to be able to buy.
Oh my gosh. If all of you were selling during COVID, working with buyers, I never said it was crazy. I kept hearing that crazy, crazy, crazy. I kept telling people, hey, you know what? It's an exciting market, because it was exciting. And then the other thing, the next adjective I mentioned is that, hey, it's super aggressive. Because the crazy to me is kind of a negative connotation. So I like to just say it's aggressive, but hey, you know what? If you can, it is a good time. And you know what? Let's look, and this is what I was telling some of my buyers, let's look at some of the homes that people are not looking at. Mainly people that were buying needed more space, as Terry mentioned earlier, because sorry, the parents were working from home, the kids were going to school at home. It was a lot, and they needed more space. And plus, they also were moving kind of out of area because they can work now remotely. So those are some of the deciding factors on purchasing. But the reason why I say it's aggressive is that pretty much if you were not either one or two, or maybe the top three, you had no chance. And there was so much uncertainty of, oh my gosh, what is this going to go to? Listing agents, we had no idea either way it would end up. I had a property in Lathrop early in the COVID year in 2020. We had 30 offers, and it went extremely over what my seller anticipated. And she made quite a bit, and she only lived there for a year. 2 years? 2 years. So she did well, and she didn't plan it though. She had a job change, so she had to move. So it wasn't something that she was planning. Okay, so like Alex said, in this this chapter, it talks about it's always a good time to buy if it makes sense for the individual, if they know exactly, if it meets their needs, and if they can afford it. The mortgage companies now, the lenders, they are doing a really good job about making sure people qualify. So those things that happened in the past won't happen again. That many of those home buyers lost their homes because there was they were not being taken care of for their best interest. But we're not going to go backwards. Okay, let's see. Good time to buy. Reasons to buy. The mortgage rates are low and stable. They still are. Someone mentioned it. They are still historically low. And somewhere in this, let me read. What did it say? Oh, it's now that the market has balancing. It's more affordable, even though our prices are still high. Here in the Bay Area, our prices will always be on the higher side of the nation, but it's still more affordable. 2.5 across the street from my Almaden property, and we sold at 1.790 2 months after. Now ours needed upgrading. Theirs was totally upgraded, but from 2.5 to let's say 1.8, that's a huge difference, because all it needed maybe was another 150, maybe 200,000 to bring it up to that level. And So it's definitely more affordable now it says that home prices have become more affordable. Inventory is high. That's another key component. And strong economy. I think we have a pretty good economy. I don't know if I'd call it strong, but I think we are. And low unemployment. I don't know the rate. Does anybody know? Does anybody here on this group follow unemployment?
It is just, it's still pretty low.
I think for the most part, I mean, we are hearing about some layoffs, but they're still also hiring. My last two clients have moved here from out of state for work. So I think that's out of our control, but I still think overall we're in a good position in our area. Okay, so becoming the expert, let's see. Let's just go one more and then we'll just take a 5-minute break in case anybody needs to get some water or something. Where is it? Okay. Determine willingness. Ask, do you want to risk missing a house that is perfect for you because you're waiting for a sliver of savings that may or may not be there? I've had that conversation so many times when potential buyers, they say, well, you know what? No, we're not in a hurry. We're going to wait. I said, oh, really? And I say it very nicely. And I just say, oh, so tell me what makes you want to wait? And what will they say? Oh, I think the prices are going to come down. I said, okay. When do you think that it'll stop? The prices will stop coming down. When do you think? Oh, probably in about 5 to 6 months. I said, well, okay. In that period of time, I said, are you renting? And they said, yes. I said, okay, well, the average rent right now is $3,500. So, you know, if you're going to wait, you're going to accumulate for the rent and so on. So I have this conversation and it kind of gets them to think. And then I said, meanwhile, you never know. We move up and we move down quick. So it could start going back up. Because right now I think we're pretty close to leveling. So anyway, this is just the conversation. So the whole idea is behind, and all of you know that have been in classes, they always say, ask questions. So instead of sitting there and talking, oh, really? Well, this, that, and give them all the stats, ask them questions. I remember asking a gentleman, and he was a teacher last year at an open house. And he said the same thing. Oh, I'm going to wait. I said, really? Well, what are you going to wait for? Well, actually, they were kind of right? The prices did come down. They did come down. But at that time, for that home, it was a good purchase. It was not overpriced. They didn't go way over. Not all homes went way over. So I just think that we should be open and continue to ask questions. In the manual, there's some scripts that I would recommend for all of us to kind of have in our minds. They are for those of you that hopefully you have the manual. I know Chelsea was putting it in, and if you don't, just let us know after. Let's see. This one on page 20 of the manual, it just talks about if somebody's kind of fearful, you know, and then there's scripts, and just like this one, do you want to wait and by chance miss out? So, and then throughout the manual, it also has top agents and what they say. And this is something I circled that I thought was something that hit me. My job is to make sure my buyers have the information they need in order to make a good decision. That's the key. And so what information? We already talked about those things, and that will help them with their willingness. Okay, let me just see. Okay, why don't we take just a couple of minutes? We're about more than halfway. Those other slides will go quick. And let's come back at about, how about 2:05? Okay, get it, drink of water or restroom. Terry, thanks a lot I see all your information in the text.
Yeah, as you were speaking, I was like, oh, I got this. I'll just drop this into the chat and people can do whatever they want with it. But I find it useful to.
The unemployment, yeah. I dare not click on it because I don't want to lose anybody. So I'll click on it at the end.
Yeah. It's it has like all the counties. You just click on the counties and it tells you. So for example, Santa Clara County is 1.8% in May 2022.
Nice. Thank you for sharing.
And the Excel spreadsheet, people can do that for themselves. I look at inventory, I try to do it daily, and then I keep track.
Oh, great. We're going to talk about that later, but let's give you guys all a break. We'll be back at 2:05, just about 5 minutes.
Hey, Terry,
I'm Meg. What?
are you there?
I'm here, Meg.
Okay, good. That cost of waiting you said, I love that. Is that something that you create yourself?
It's something I saw years ago. I think, I don't know where I saw it. So I created it. And then, of course, I filed it away and then pulled it up and went, oh boy, this sure needs to be updated, But to pull it out and be able to show them, I used it a lot during the short sale time. And if you were coming out of it, that's why the prices were so low.
Right. Okay. So that's what I wanted to know. I was like, well, maybe Dave creates it and she calls him and says, hey, create one of these cost of waiting for me with a different property address each time.
Well, there's two things. So Dave, the flyer that has Dave and I on it, Dave created that himself. The Excel spreadsheet is something that I created and would talk to people about at open house. So Dave's is better, but if you want to sit there, if you go to an open house and you've got a listing and you know specifically what the price is, and you go back and look at what that house sold for, 6 months ago and what the rates were, and then you show it now what it's listed for and what the rates are. They can see what their monthly payments are and be able to see that it's, it might not be a bad purchase.
Right. Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. You could really use it at an open house.
It makes us think too. As we're talking, it's like, we kind of know it, but when you see it, us as teachers, right? We be able to show them and say, well, look, if the rates go up by another %, what's it going to cost?
Yeah. It's gonna, I know you think that, but don't forget your rent is going up at the same time.
Yeah. Well, then you see Yvonne was talking and saying, like, they said they're going to wait, right?
Yeah.
And was it Joe Stump says, well, how do you know?
Yeah.
When we get there, right? How do you know? It's like, oh.
Are you investing financially based on your opinion? Like, did you get that? But see, then you can't do that. You have to respect their opinion. Yeah.
And how do you know when you get there?
Let me know when you're able to predict the market. I'd really appreciate that.
Meg, you're Santa Cruz?
I'm Campbell.
Oh, you're Campbell. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a mentor at Campbell.
Oh, nice. Okay. And Terry, I know you're Campbell. Darren is Santa Cruz. Anthony, are you able to chat?
Maybe he's a silent observer.
Yeah, he could be at work.
No,
I know.
I'm here. I was just muted.
Oh, hi, Anthony. Which office are you? Which office are you?
Under Mike.
I'm sorry.
Silicon Valley in Campbell.
Oh, you're Campbell. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and then Alex and Kelly. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Yvonne.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Good. So Kelly and Alex or gateway to. And let's see, and the last person, I'm sorry, I don't have see a name.
Dimitri's in there.
Oh, okay, and Dimitri? He's Campbell, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Silicon Valley, Kempo.
Oh,
Hey,
Dimitri, okay, great, now we know. Okay, let's get back, and please, everybody, don't be shy. This is, we're interacting and sharing. Thank you, Terry, for all the valuable information you've been putting in the chat. If anybody else has anything to share, what they've been doing, what they have seen helpful, that's been working. Okay, so pretty much the rest of the time, we're going to be talking about having our skill set. And we've been hearing that a lot too, besides the fact of going back to the basics. We've been hearing from our leadership that we need to sharpen our skills. All right, so what tools do you use to communicate your knowledge of the economy and local market? Thank you, Terry, for sharing some of those things. And also Darren shared, where can you get reference information you need? We talked about that. Number one place is the MLS. And once we get through the slides, because I don't want to take a chance on losing it, I will share with you a couple of things that I do. Super simple things that I look at. Okay, create a best buy list. So when I first heard this in the book, I thought, what is that? I mean, I knew what they were talking about, but okay. So going into just really brief, the REOs, that's real estate owned. That means that a bank, the lender has foreclosed. Unfortunately, the owners, for whatever reason, cannot sustain the home. So REOs means real estate owned. HUD exchanged, that is housing and urban development. That website, if you want to look it up, if it's really simple, HUD.gov. What their website says is helping you meet your housing needs. What that is also is for individuals that might need down payment assistance. And this, again, is across the nation. So if we have clients that sometimes need assistance, that's a good resource. And they have a ton of information in there. For closer list, I don't know, we don't have that many here, but there are lists, okay, and where do you get that? Typically, you got to be connected with the banks. Also, you can get that as public record. I've never pursued that, but there are people that focus on those. FSBOs, that's for sale by owner. I would also add in that category expireds. Price reductions in the MLS, new homes on the market, which is a new home construction home, and builders promotions. So creating a best buy list. Now, this is homework, okay? But I think we should take some of these. It's hard to be every single component there. But I think we should know what new homes are in the market in our area. I think for majority of us, we pretty much stay within certain cities and areas. So it's good to know what's on the market for new homes. And also builders promotions. What that means is they give incentives. So if there's, so like I live pretty close to Milpitas, and Milpitas has a ton of building going on, and actually Santa Clara also. So what you do is you go visit the builders, their sales office, and you introduce yourself and you ask them, hey, how are things going? What promotions are you running? And you take that information and you can send it out to your database. You can post it on social media and so on. So, but I think for the most of us, it's just a regular area. But again, this list gives us other things to think about. Okay, here, do your homework. Does the market agree? List price, condition, selling price. So we're going to go more into depth. For me, my main area, I guess I would have to say Silicon Valley, but my clients take me all over. but I do want to know at least my home base. I consider this home base. And I should know what's the average days on market, what's our list price, what's our average list price, and so on. The way we find out, how do we find out the condition of the properties? Anybody?
So see them,
Yeah,
the inspection disclosures if they're available.
we have to go preview. Okay, use your list. Don't give this list out. Offer access to the best buys. Show houses on the list to your clients. These are houses that will sell fastest. Okay, so where do we get this list? Well, we got it on the MLS. So if we're looking at it, checking it daily, it's like, okay, what's been on the market, what's new on the market, and what homes I like to look at 30 plus days
On the
or
market.
more.
Yeah.
Because at that point, the sellers know the markets has been telling them. So they'll tell them it's either price related or the condition, or maybe a combination of both. Okay, so you can have a few. We don't have, doesn't say the list has to be super long, right? So I really like this part because I haven't never incorporate that really in my business. So, but I think it's a good practice. And during, let's see, not bold, but oh my gosh, what's the other one that we do? Ignite. It tells us that we should, is it 10 per week that we should preview?
Yeah.
It's a good practice. It's a good practice. Okay. In our farm, because a few of you already said about farms. So do you know all the properties in your farm? Okay, find it for them. This is, again, we're talking about buyers. Now this is having, a part of it has to do with our consultation. So I remember my first house. I'm just going to give you, I was super motivated. And the reason why I didn't want to rent anymore, because we were at the mercy of the landlord. We had to move twice because they moved in, and I was like and I say my husband and I, we were extremely motivated. I think I was more motivated than him, but and I thank God for Mom. She helped us with the down payment, and so we got into our first house. Now, our job is to find them motivated, right? They're ready, they're able, and they're willing. The willing part, that means they're motivated. So it's really important to ask these questions when we meet with our clients. It's like, okay, so Darren, tell me what makes you looking to be purchasing right now?
I'm tired of renting and want to put that money to some equity in a home.
Oh, that's great. And you know what else, Darren? What that will do is help you. It's an investment, right? Are you looking on the investment side of it as well?
Well, that's not the first priority. Priority is just getting the family a place they can feel like they have a place to come home to forever. And at some point, if it works out, it would be an investment that we could turn around. Absolutely.
Great, great. And then I would just keep asking him questions. And it tells us in all our classes and things, we've got to listen. Yeah, because I know that it talks about script practice, but you know what? It's a conversation and it's asking questions. So whatever he tells, whatever our client says, that leads us to the next question. Now, of course, we should have a few core that we need to make sure we hit. But other than that, let's listen. It's crucial that we listen to what they're saying. And then the other thing is when he's talking, when our clients are sharing, that we write down what they say. Because if you have a handful of clients, it's going to be hard to remember exactly, even if you have a good memory. And they appreciate it. It's like, oh, wow, Darren, that's important. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm going to make sure I focus on that for you. You know, get feedback as you go. Okay, so ask about their motivation. Okay, we were just talking about that. Is it their second home? Is there life changes? Is work related, school? so on and so on. Is it investment? Okay. And now we got to go find this property for them. Oh, okay. Advantages of home ownership. We talked a little bit about that. For me, for us, we were young, first time home buyers. I didn't think about tax breaks. I didn't think about building equity. That wasn't what was my focus. So if we do have these first time home buyers, which I think a lot of us will, if we just touch on these things, because we can't give tax advice. But what we can give is just a little bit of data points. It's like, hey, also, Darren, check in with your tax advisor, because when you own a home, there's some tax benefits, and they'll go over all that with you. And we touched on investment. What about building equity? Oh, so Darren, how long do you think you'll be in this home? Just approximate. What are your thoughts? Is this going to be your forever home, do you think?
It depends on the family and if we grow or not. I could see it being our home for quite a few years, but maybe having to go up in size later on.
Ah, okay. Well, see, you'll be building equity. And then once you're paying your mortgage down every month, and then each year it appreciates. So that's how you're going to build the equity. So it's exciting, home ownership. And the best part, Darren, that I found is it's mine. And we're building a future for my family. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we're not paying somebody else's mortgage home. We're paying our own home off. Something like that. Yeah. Okay, next, let's go on. Anybody have any more? Please, again, feel free to jump in. Any other insight? Any thoughts?
Yvonne, you're talking about the Best Buy. I was thinking about how it's really hard to get buyers to commit to us, like their loyalty. And it would be a good option to be able to say, hey, when you sign a buyer broker agreement, then you get the opportunity to get on this Best Buy list.
There you go. It's a good point, Terry. Good point. And it talks a little bit more about the Best Buy. Please take time in a 2-hour class. We can't go over too much every single point in depth, but it does talk about that. Let's see, in the manual and in the book. Okay. But I think for me, what I'm going to start incorporating, it's pretty much my CMA already. As a listing agent, I put myself on an auto notification even before, if they're not quite ready. Let's say we're going to list in about a month. I put myself on an auto notification that I know everything that is going to happen in that area. I also put myself on auto notification for my buyers when they're looking in certain areas. So I already kind of know the Best Buy list, but I haven't used it to generate more business. So I think it's a good tool. Okay, show what they'll buy, knowing what they need and want, knowing the best buys in the market. Okay, we're kind of already talking about that. And so how do we do that? Well, we got to stay on top of the market. We've got to do our homework every day. I think we should be in the MLS at least a half hour. Sometime during the day, if you can, at least 15 minutes just to get some updates. And I want to save a little time at the end. I just want to show you what I do. Okay, buyers who want a deal. Yes, buyers that want a deal. Okay, learn their definition of a deal. Communicate the consequences of some deals. I'm not quite sure exactly what that means. Communicate the consequences of some deals. I guess, does anybody have any thoughts when you read that sentence?
Yeah. You get a lot of people who they think it's an opportunity to buy a home and flip it without realizing that, they can buy a home at a lower price, they think, but then they have to put money back into it in order to flip it and sell it. And then if they either over improve it and go nuts and spend too much money, they're not going to get it back, or maybe, you know, this isn't the perfect time to be flipping right now. And so, you know, there are consequences for trying to get the best.
On a flip, yeah. And I've seen that actually lately.
Also,
Okay.
when people are shopping online and they're looking at foreclosure radar, and they think they can get a foreclosed house for 200,000 when it's really only, you know, the second or third of the property taxes. It's not really a deal.
Yeah. I see what you put in the chat. You can sign up for free to see foreclosure court dates. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I've been at those court dates. It's at the courthouse steps. You got to come out there with your cashier's check. Those are seasoned investors.
Right.
Whew, it's something. It's
Right,
something.
right. So do you explain the risk of that to the buyer? But this is more for like if someone's prospecting and they want to contact people before they go to sell. then
Oh,
that to maybe reach out to the sellers, because
Oh.
I wouldn't connect my buyers on that list, because before that very reason, that they're not seasoned, they could be buying.
Okay. So what the link that you put, is that for a notice of defaults?
Yes, it's the servicing link. So those that service the loans,
Ah,
they can go there, they can sign up for free, and then they can search by county and city to see what properties and what the foreclosure date is listed for.
Okay.
I haven't really found anything to really reach out to. Every now and then I'll see something.
Yeah.
But it's just another way of prospecting, as well as having some information you might be able to.
On that note, just a quick note. We had some really hard financial problems in the past where we almost lost our house. This was before my real estate business. And so I called the agent, the local agent that she always sent things here. And I said, you know, I'm looking for help. We need help to save our house. I don't want to sell. And then she looked it up. Oh, you're not going to be able to save your house. You have to sell. And so I thought to myself, ooh, I would never use her in a million years. That's not what I called you for. I called you for help. I want to save my house. I don't want to sell my house. And so if you ever go on that path, and we're going to come across people, whether we go on, if that's one of our focuses, we will come across individuals that are having a hard time. My suggestion is, hey, so Terry, how can I help you? Terry, tell me, how can I help you? What would you like to do? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to, in other words, how can I help you? Don't tell them what they need to do. Ask whatever they're telling us that they need help with, focus on that. We're gonna, our business, and if you have heard Jason Abram in the last year plus, he talks about that. It's our, what did he call that? I'd have to look it up. But the whole thing is that we're with them for life. We're not with them just when they sell or buy. We're going to be their agent, their professional, the person that are the resource they come to for everything. And do you think just that person like me, if I even told myself, I remember, if I'm ever a realtor, I'll never ever do that to anybody. So just wanted to throw that in there.
No, that's a really good point, because the people that are on that list are probably getting called by a lot of agents. So coming from value, being able to give them value to help them maybe see through what, as you said, what their options are.
And an option might be to sell. It could be an option. Okay, thank you, Terry. All right, anybody else for information about that? Okay, stop and think. What questions are most effective for determining buyers' true needs and wants? What can you do to find houses your customers will want to buy? Well, we've already been kind of talking about that. But what questions are the most effective for determining a buyer's true needs and wants? There's questions in and scripts in our manual. Okay. Couple of the questions. What exactly do you mean by large kitchen, for example? What does having 4 bedrooms do for you? What does that look like to you? Can you explain that in more detail? How does that make you feel? So these are the questions. So let's say, Meg, you tell me that you would like a big backyard. Oh, wow.
I would really like a big backyard for my kids.
Oh, wow. Tell me more about that.
Well, right now I live in an apartment, and in order for my kids to play, I've got to stop what I'm doing and walk to the park because I'm not going to, they're too young to go by themselves. But I work from home, so I can't always do that. But if they could play in the backyard, then it wouldn't interfere with my work.
Wow, great. And how would that make you feel?
Oh, that would be such a relief. You just can't imagine.
Great. Okay. So those are a few examples, and you're going to find that in your manual. And so super basic, right? We don't have to go on and on. Anybody else have any thoughts? What would be some more effective questions?
Those are great. And what does big mean? Right?
Yeah.
What is big? Because someone's in an apartment, a 4,000 square foot backyard might mean, might be big to them.
Right.
Right. Someone else might be looking for an acre.
Yeah, they talk about going a little deeper, in other words. Right. And listen to what
one of the things I would probably try and do too is a lot of times husbands and wives don't realize that their answers are different. And if you let them write down their answers and kind of collect them up afterwards, you can get a real idea of what they really want between the two of them. Because a lot of times one will acquiesce to the other and not be 100% accurate.
Right. When I'm taking out buyers, I have a scale 1 to 5. I don't go 1 to 10. I think it's a little bit not necessarily the same concept. So 1 is, oh gosh, no, Yvonne, we don't like this house. And 5 is, oh my gosh, this is it. Let's go write an offer. And so it's funny, the husband and wife are 8 times out of 10, they're different. Close, but different. Yeah. And it's kind of fun to get the score after showing.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do that too.
Great. Thanks, Terry. All right. Facilitating decision-making. All right, here it comes. This is the bottom line, right? When we get to making a decision. Okay, features versus benefits. Now, features are like fireplace, the pool, large master bedroom. So what's the benefit? Meg just gave it a prime example. Oh, well, my children can play in the backyard and I can see them. I don't have to stop. I can continue. It's more, it makes things much easier. So quiet, cozy, spacious. So those are the benefits. Those are the things we want to focus on with our clients. Cost of waiting to buy. Delay of tax benefit, delay of building equity. So the things we talked about, it'll be just all delayed. Need to view more homes. Selection of best homes is limited now. Market will shift and great buys will be gone. And that's the truth. That is the truth. I've seen it. I've experienced it. 2019, oh, we're going to wait. And here comes 2020 and all the buyers, okay, now they want to buy. And now the prices started soaring. So very true. There is a cost of waiting. Okay, now the fears. This is real. I had one client, God bless her. She was so cute and single. She was just so fearful. This is during the short sale years. We got into contract. I called her. I said, oh, congratulations. Your offer got accepted. And she said, oh my gosh, it did. I didn't think it would get accepted. Oh, she was just so fearful. And we had contingencies and it was extreme. And I said, Tracy, don't, I don't think you're quite ready to move forward, and it's okay. We could cancel. And she said, oh, really? Can we cancel? She was just had such high anxiety. So I've had that. I've felt that. And so we've got to be there. We all know what our fiduciary, right? Take care of our client's best interest at all times. So it's not always, oh, we got to push them through. That one we had to. And you know what? It took 6 more months, but we got her home and she was super comfortable. But I just hadn't seen that type of anxiety before. So it's real. It's real. So let's help our clients through that time. And we're going to have every degree in between there, every level. And some clients like me, I didn't care. I told my agent at the time, I don't care anything about the house. It just have to be in this school area. It had old paneling. It had old carpet. It had, we had to redo everything. It didn't matter to me. So we'll have that spectrum. So just be positive. Keep our clients' best interests at heart at all times and their needs. And that's how we build our trust. Okay, fear of paying too much. Okay, we're going to help them with comparable market analysis, right? And the appraisal. I got different thoughts about appraisal. It's one person's opinion, but we're not going to get into that right now. Okay, fear of making a commitment. Yes, that's a fear. Option period. We don't have that. I think that's a different state have option periods. Maybe that's kind of like our contingency period. And then I think some companies offer a buyback guarantee. So again, this KW manual is for the whole company. And this was actually 2019. Was it? Yeah, 2019, this manual was made. Okay, facilitate decision-making, incentives and concessions. We talked a little bit about this already. So go ahead and read that. Anybody have any questions on any of those that you don't quite understand? Please don't be shy. Has anyone used any of those recently? We have on my colleague's listing, she offered 12,000 credit for closing costs that the buyer can either pay down their buy down their interest rate or use it towards closing cost. Any questions about that? How can we facilitate their decision making? Okay, let's get through these couple last slides and then I want to show you something. Okay, so a close, let's see. Dimitri, is this house, is this a house you want to buy? These are questions I'm asking you. Let's say we're out looking. Hey, Dimitri, if you love this house, someone else will too. So would you like to go ahead and get your offer in? Good houses sell fast in any market. And that's the truth. The next person who looks at this house, Dimitri, could also be putting in an offer. So let's, are you ready to submit your offer now? How would you feel if someone else bought this house tomorrow, Dimitri, and you haven't put your offer in? So just some questions that they give us to ask our clients. Of course, we're not going to go ask him all those same ones at the same time, but you pick a couple. And then, you know, while you're walking through, when you're showing or when you're on the phone, you know, you put some in while you're speaking with them and while you're analyzing the home. And no home is going to be perfect. Anybody, any input about these? Good questions, something to think about. And let's see, our last slide, the bottom line. What's our bottom line? We got to help our clients, right? You need to be the expert on the local market and economy. We want to help our clients by providing them good information so they can make a good decision. We want to articulate why this is a great time to buy. Hey, did we decide that this is a great time to buy, everybody? Does anybody think this is not a good time to buy? In general,
This is perfect.
Yvonne, I do have some thoughts on this.
please.
I think the concern is not whether we think it's a good time to buy or not. We could be saying this to our prospects all the time, right? But the challenge that I see is they talk to other people, right?
Yes,
And it
yes.
takes just a few negative Nellies to make them doubt, right? And
Yep.
what I'm especially interested in is how to get to the next level and not just make not just share our own perspective on why it's a good time to buy, but why they should also discount the opinions of all those people telling them, oh, don't buy, wait for the prices to drop 30% or so, right? And I'll give you a very specific example. I had a live replay of this on my personal Facebook just a few days ago. I posted this picture from Dave Ramsey that you might have seen flying over Facebook. It's a good time to buy now. Price is not going to drop. I had so many people with so much negativity come out, just ganged up on me, and right. But here's the thing, right? I don't really care if somebody is going to be saying negative things to me, but the challenge is there are some people who are looking for positive things in the marketplace, and there are very few of those people just trying to talk down the market, right? Want to hear your perspective on how to inoculate against negative Nellies.
Yeah, I heard you share that last week. Well, I'm gonna let me share. So let's just say that you come back and you say that to me as far as, oh, my friends and so on. I said, Dimitri, I know there's so much information out there, and some people are going to have a negative thought on things, and that's pretty much their personality. Probably they probably look at things on a negative note. But let me share with you what our leader, our founder of our company, Gary Keller. I want to share a little bit about what he shares, and then I would take it away from because we can't change those people, Dimitri. We can't change them, and we shouldn't even be focusing and trying, in my opinion. And I know what you said. You were going back and forth with this one person. Well, that's one person's opinion, and he's not an expert.
Right, but specifically, let me just kind of focus, right? I don't expect to change opinions of people who are very negative, or they do want to, or they think they're gonna wait for the market to drop by X before they buy. My question is very specific, right? How to inoculate people with open mind against the negativity that comes from those people, right? And also what I'm thinking, I think what this this discussion on my Facebook just exposed, I'm almost glad that this happened, right? Because I can see what some people are thinking but wouldn't say out up front. So what I want to do, I want to get ahead of the problem, right? I want to almost assume that every prospect is talking to some negative people, and I want to almost say something is, some people think this, but here's why they are wrong, right? Because if you're not acknowledging those concerns, we are simply letting them be influenced by the negative people without this conversation even happening.
Just one thing, and then I'd like to hear other people. I wouldn't say that they're wrong. I wouldn't say anything to anyone, hey, they're wrong. Just say, well, you know what? Let me show you what the experts are saying. I would just give my data and let them make their decision. I wouldn't try to change them. It's kind of like church or people, if they believe in God or not. I'm going to give my information and my experience and let them decide. But I would try to stay away from that, Dimitri, to say, hey, well, they're wrong. Yeah. Anybody else want to help Dimitri out on this one?
I saw that on Dimitri. In fact, I private messaged him there. It was pretty brutal, and I think he handled it really well. I would say that when we get negativity, probably just ask questions like, oh, I hear what you're saying, and maybe try to find out where they're getting their information from.
Yeah, maybe that one gentleman, Dimitri, had a really bad experience and you just hit a nerve, maybe. I don't know. Anybody else have any help, input for Dimitri? Or any
Hey,
of
Dimitri, what I would do, so people, like Yvonne said, are always going to be negative. And, that's just life, right? But, what you can do is, hey, I hear your side, but here's my side also. So just kind of combat it. Come back with, hey, they're on the negative side, you're going to be on the positive side, versus trying to argue with them. They just are trying to see a reaction out of you. So just try to be positive like you are, and put in your thoughts, and things should work out. Just don't take it to heart.
Well, I don't take it to heart, right? My question is very practical, right? How to inoculate people who are open to people who are negative, right? And I think the people who are negative, they have an agenda, right? They feel they're gonna talk down the market to buy at a big discount. And some of those people who were commenting there, right? I know them personally, right? They're opportunistic investors who buy at a big discount at the off market. One gentleman, not the ugliest, right? One gentleman is a real estate agent or broker somewhere in Arkansas. He got burned back in the last Great Recession. Now his whole business is recruiting agents to leave the business to sign up and promote his MLM, right? That's right. So there are people with agenda like this, obviously, right? But I feel like just going after trying to expose everybody's agenda, I think it's challenging. I think another one that was really interesting, the guy who was the most negative had 50 comments, right? He kept posting some YouTube channel. Oh, this guy on YouTube says the market's gonna crash, yada, 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 right? And I actually have been doing this for a while, even until this, right? Because there is a lot of negativity on YouTube because this gets clicks and views, right? And that's what I've been telling him right there in his thread. Oh yeah, just another YouTube guy trying to sensationalize to get video views, right? So anyways, I feel like I'm a little bit kind of rambling. I feel I'm kind of a little bit answering my questions to some extent, right? But
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue is not as much how to convince people who are negative, who have an agenda. They're not salvageable, right? I mean, maybe they will change, right? But it's more how to limit their influence on people who have an open mind, right?
Right.
That's really it.
Yeah. And I'm sure you're handling it well.
I'm trying my best.
You are. Talk to Mike too about it,
Yep.
Okay, so a couple of things before I want to show you one more thing on the MLS. Okay, this is from Franklin D. Roosevelt. He wrote, real estate cannot be lost or stolen, nor can it be carried away. Purchased with common sense, paid in full, and managed with reasonable care, it is about the safest investment in the world. So, Dimitri, you might say something along those lines. All of us, we all can use that. Purchase with common sense. That means giving them the information. And we're not going to let our clients do anything that's going to harm them. I'm sure most of us. And manage with reasonable care. It is about the safest investment in the world. So even if, let's just say these people that bought high, eventually it's, they'll make it up somehow, hopefully. I'm hoping for them. Now, the last thing that, and Terry, I remembered, I love this part about Gary. He says, okay, I'm on page 190 of the Shift book, Tactic 9. I'm going to read two parts. When you buy a larger and better home, you are saving more on the purchase than you may have lost on the sale of your previous home. The new home is often better positioned for appreciation when the market rebounds. So real quick, some of our buyers are also sellers. So that's what he's talking about. If I have to sell my home to purchase, I'm not going to make as much as maybe I have hoped to here in my sell, but I will make it up on my purchase. And then he says, and this is the part I love because I think this is great investment strategy, you guys. Again, page 190. Each move over time, oh wait, sorry, let me go up. My wife, Mary, and I systematically traded up our homes, each time focusing on buying a greater value than we were leaving behind. Each move over time helped us improve our net worth and accelerate the growth rate of our financial bottom line. It's a proven strategy and one of the best opportunities of a shift. There you go. This is a key opportunity time. Why not go buy a home that maybe somebody doesn't want because maybe it needs a little fixing, but it's been on the market 30 to 40 to 60 days. And we know in time it's going to go back up. Some of my clients in the short sell years, I almost had to beg them to buy. And I thought, gosh, the prices are 50% lower because there was a false high, just like these last 2 years. Those were extremely false highs. Okay, so now we're getting back balanced. This is the time to buy because soon after it levels, we're going to go back up again. We don't know when.
Yep,
Oh, okay. Did you want to add anything, Meg?
I just agree.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
But it's an opinion, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's kind of, I've lived here for, 25 plus years, and each time I'm amazed at the prices of the homes, but
It'll go back up. It'll
Yeah.
go back up. So I love this strategy, you guys. We should share this with our clients. And some of it I've shared and I thought, oh, Gary promotes it. And where I was coming from, especially in our Bay Area, I've been sharing, hey, let's get a good townhome or let's go get a good condo. That's a good investment. Let's keep it 3 to 5 years and then sell it because they will go up. Right now, people aren't really too much into condos and townhomes. But anyway, good strategy per the expert, Dimitri, not that guy that's negative. Yeah, send them to the expert. Okay, now I want to share before, now please bear with me. Okay, so a lot of you already, I'm sure all of us has our own ways of getting data. But okay, so I'm stopping to share and I'm going to share and I hope to figure out how to do this. Okay, and share. Okay, and I want to get back to here. Can you guys see my MLS?
no,
Okay, hold on. I got to do it again. Stop share and then share. And then MLS. Oh, and then share, right? Can you see my MLS?
yes,
Whew.
good job.
Okay. Simple, simple. Okay, this is Matrix. And I go to my dashboard. And at a quick, here's my market watch. Can you guys, can you guys see this?
Yeah,
Do all of you, does this look familiar to anybody? This
Yeah.
market?
Yep.
Yes, yes, Terry, yes, yes. Okay, all right. For those of you that doesn't look familiar, this is the simplest. I set this up, my market watch. I've set it for residential and I set it for the week. You can do it for 24 hours. You can do it for what came on today. I mean, as of today. So as of today, and for me, I have it for Santa Clara County. Wait, no. Is this San Jose? Hold on. You can customize. Let me see which one did I do on this one? Yeah, Santa Clara County. Can you guys still see this?
Yep.
Okay, good. So this is Santa Clara County. So right today, 25 new listings came on. One increased, 12 out of the 25 had a price decrease and so on and so on. Okay. I like the 7-day. It just gives it a little bit more of a balanced view. So that's one thing. Then you can get it at a glance, information about the market. The other thing is I have 3 saved searches. This is my farm. This is San Jose, and this is the Santa Clara County. So I open that up. Oh, sorry, manage. Oh, nope, hold on. That's not what I wanted to show you. I want to show you the update. Okay, so how many properties are on our market right now? Listings. Anybody can tell me? But you can cheat and look.
Yeah, it says it right there.
Good answer, Terry. Okay, so my whole point here is we should know our data points, and it's very basic data points here. So we have right now currently, this is the whole county. If you want by city, you just do another search. But I like to do the county, and I like to know San Jose. So now, so remember that list that it said the best buy list? Well, let's see. What's the best buy here in Santa Clara County? Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. Well, wow. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. $499. What's the best buys? Okay, well, there's some great properties here. In San Jose, you can buy a house for $475. Well, this gives all our data points is at our fingertips. Now, this is an extreme, of course, you know, that's different. But what you want to do is look at your client's price point. Let's see, Alex, I think you said early on, you said something about 900. So I would come, oh, sorry, hold on. I got to categorize the statuses. It takes a second because there's 2,000 here. Okay, so you said something about the 900 range, just for example. Okay, so here's some 900 range. Look at this one, been on the market for 69 days. Pepper Tree Lane, what is that? Oh, this is actually not in a bad area. I know it's probably, yeah, it's 95127, but it's on the outskirts. Single family home. So anyway, I just wanted to show you everything we need for data is in
The MLS.
Yes, and then here you click on stats and you go tabular. Give it a second. And it gives you all your data points. So see here, contingent days on market, 32. It's 32 days right now. Actives, look at days on market, 39. So we're 3 to 4 weeks. At our fingertips, you guys. If you have any questions, you can call me. Also, MLS is great. You call them up and say, hey, you know, I'd like to, so let me get back to the dashboard. So when I open up every day, this is what I'm looking at. Oh, okay, so this is for the week again. I can change it down here and I can customize it. And then here are my favorite searches. So this is my farm. I should know how many actives in our farm. Okay, anybody have any ways that they'd like to share about stats, like simple stats? Anybody else have any way that they find out stats?
Yeah, Yvonne, this is Art.
Hi, Art.
Hi, guys. Hi, Yvonne. I usually, I mean, if there are a few people who are, you know, more visual, like graph, they like to see graphs instead of reading the numbers. I mean, for them, like one of the helpful ways we go into the stats, which is like right on the top.
Yeah, but you can get it from here too. Let's say from here, hold on, where is it? Well, let's do it your way. Okay, go up here, you're saying, right?
There could be multiple ways. I mean, I don't know that way.
Yeah. It takes you here. Yeah, If you've already
Yeah.
have those searches saved and then you come here and do stats, right? Art, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so residential, for example, let's do Santa Cruz for our Santa Cruz group today. Let's do Santa Cruz, right? And then, all right,
Whatever factors you, yeah, I mean,
let's leave it broad. Which one here do you like over here? Which one do you use for the graph, Art?
I use all of them, but let's pick the second one, average days on the market and sales. Yeah.
Okay, let's generate it.
I mean, it's more beauty. Yeah, there you go.
There
So
you go.
like a graph, and people sometimes receive a better idea by, by the pictorial representation than just reading of the numbers. I mean, it's just preference. That's all.
Yeah, and you know what else I've seen people use is in their social media or maybe an email or their newsletter. I've seen this. Okay, what else? Months of inventory, number of homes, sale versus sold. Let's see what that looks like. Generate.
We could change all these colors too, like whatever colors. I mean, just another way to share the data with the clients. That's all.
Oh, how do you change the colors? I've never changed colors.
Actually, I forgot, but I think
Oh, it's okay. Oh, that's
I
a MLS question. Yeah. You don't like Christmas colors, Art? No, I'm just kidding.
no, I like all the colors. I mean, this is Christmas too. Well, yeah, Christmas is pretty close by now, right?
Yeah. Okay, great. Anybody else? We just have a couple more minutes of how to find data because we need to be the expert, Gary tells us. So how, anyone else, how do you find your data points?
I picked up this new way from Zach Younger, I think his name was. He
Yeah,
taught a
oh, yeah.
class not too long ago.
What did he
He-
show us?
So what he did was, for example, he did 500,000 to a million price point, and he grabbed up the data, so average and medium sale price, number of listed, number of sales, days on market.
Oh, yeah.
Another one, 1 million to 2 million, and then 2 million plus for the third category.
Mm. But where do you get that, Alex? Where do you get that data?
From right here, MLS.
Right.
You just put on the list price. So for example, 500 to 1,000, it should bring up 500,000 to 1 million list price homes.
Right.
And then you just,
Okay, and then city?
that,
Let's
city,
just-
San Jose, yep.
let's do San Jose. Oh, I didn't put, you wanted active. I didn't put the criteria. So everything at our fingertips on our MLS. And then what do you do with this, Alex?
So that I would just take the number of listed and then the number of sales. And then for the other information, so for example, months of inventory, days on market, I would go to the stat side and the same thing, just put 500 to 1,000 and just bring up those stats.
Great. Okay, so also, before we go, up here in training, MLS has wonderful training, and you can call them and just say, this is what I'm trying to learn. How do I get to that? But here's all their classes. In case you didn't know, this is how you find the classes. Okay, and that's just by up here under training. You go to their calendar. Okay, so in closing, I'd like to thank everybody for attending and also encourage you to finish off the next few tactics. And if you don't have the book yet or download, it's a great book. I have so many highlights through the years. I've read it 3 times. I think if you have time, please go back and read Tactic 9 because it's still a tough time. We're not quite through the transition, in my opinion. And we're also kind of in a different time because the world is in turmoil. We're not at peace. We're not at peace in our own nation. So keep on top of things. We all have to work on our skills. And I know next month we're focusing on getting a panel to help us with these skills. And so please look up, keep an eye out for our next one of our main trainings. It's going to be a panel of our top agents in our offices. Okay, anybody for anything before we, oh, Terry, I need to save the chat because you have some nice, really good information here. Everybody, do you know how to, oh, thanks, Meg. And thank everybody for your input, for sharing. Let's see, save chat. Does everybody know how to save the chat? Yes? No?
No.
Oh, okay. The bottom in the chat, there's those 3 dots. If you click on the bottom of the chat, you see the 3 dots? And then it says save chat.
Mhm.
Then you just press that and hopefully it downloads. Is that right? If anybody knows, let me see, I think.
I know it saves the chat. I'm not sure if it will save attachments, but if you, anyone here, if they just click on the attachments will automatically download to their computer.
Oh, it doesn't save attachments. Okay, thank you.
I don't
Okay,
know for a fact. I don't know for a fact. We can experiment with it.
yeah, okay. So everybody, the class is still on. Go ahead and click on those links to download before we close it. There's the unemployment rate. Inventory.
Yeah, I just looked at it, Yvonne. It does not save attachments.
Oh, it doesn't save attachments.
As a text or a Word doc or something.
Oh, I'm disappointed. I thought you had figured it out. Oh, well.
Okay, everybody, have a great, what day is today? Monday. Have a great week. But
Okay, thank you.
we can keep this on until we download these things.
I got it all. I know. I'm used to Terry.
Oh, and then of course, Terry, do you mind putting your email or phone number if anybody needs it in the chat? Well, we can find you. We know where you're, but thank you. Let me write it. Okay, everybody, thanks so much.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Thank you.
This class is a good reminder about the script, the digging deep, because in this shift, we I've done this for a long time, but sometimes we can get outside of what we should be doing. And when we were just having open houses, it didn't matter to have like deep conversations usually with clients, right? They just wanted the house. Now we really need to get back, as you said in the beginning, we're focusing on honing our skills and having those deep conversations. So this is a great class for more people. Hopefully they'll watch it to get it.
Thanks, Terry. Thanks for all your sharing, is super helpful. Okay, we're gonna have to, this is gonna continue until, oh, do I stop share?
Once we all leave, so I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
I think your text and stuff is good to be there. But thanks again, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Let's see, stop recording. Chelsea, are you there? Okay, stop recording.